This will really help you. And these are the 5 things that your clients care about the most. And I feel these 5 things are so important that you ought to write them down and use them over and over. Number 1, competence. The first one is about people who have never met you before and don't know much about you. It's also applicable for clients you've known for many years, maybe your whole life, but have never gone through this exercise with. Clients want to know if you're competent enough to do a good job on their tax returns, or bookkeeping, or whatever they're hiring you for. I know everybody in this group, and I'm satisfied with your competence. But clients and prospects need to hear something from you that directly refers to your competence. So, tell them how competent you are. If you're fairly new in the profession, you may have only been through 1 tax season, but you can total up the number of tax returns you've ever done. If you've only done 50 or 100 tax returns, that's more than the clients or prospects ever have done by themselves. If you've averaged 100 tax returns per year, and you've been doing them for 10 years, that's 1,000 tax returns. You can estimate that number, but don't overestimate. Tell the truth, but even an estimate could be the truth. Or you can talk about the number of years you've been doing tax returns. I had to give a presentation to a group a while back, and I said that I've been through 47 tax seasons. That was a little impressive, but it was true. And any number you can give will sound impressive to a client or prospect. And you can modify that to talk about the number of QuickBooks files you've handled, times the number of months that you've done QuickBooks. Or talk about anything you want that gives you an air of competence. If you have an office, put your certificates on the walls. If you work out of your home, tell them on the phone how many certificates you've earned. Now, many tax preparers have a sense of false modesty, or they're shy about tooting their own horn. Get over that. Clients and prospects need to feel that they're going to be dealing with a competent person. So you have to actually tell them that you're competent. Number 2, taxes. Clients and prospects care about their taxes. That's why they came to you in the first place. Even if they are only bookkeeping clients and prospects, they know that good bookkeeping is going to save them money on their taxes. So talk with them about their taxes in generalities. You can say that you get at least 40 hours per year updating your knowledge about the Internal Revenue Code and regulations by taking formal classes. Leave out the fact that all CPAs in Texas and other states have the same requirement. You can say that the Internal Revenue Code is 2 volumes in length. And these are big, thick books, about 2 inches wide with lots of pages. And the IRS regulations are 6 volumes in length. Make a big deal about that. Stretch out your arms as wide as they'll go and tell your clients and prospects that the code and regulations would take up a whole shelf. Of course, now you have the code and regulations on your computer, but the point is that you've learned the code and regulations and you feel like you could put your knowledge up against the knowledge of anybody else in town. And your objective would be to use every bit of your knowledge and experience to try to make the tax payments by your clients as low as is legally possible, and the refunds for your clients as high as legally possible. Also, you can say that you're going to be as careful as you can to keep your clients out of trouble with the IRS. Number 3, wealth transfer. For 1 and 2 that we just talked about, you're giving them confidence about you. Now is the time to shift the conversation to asking them questions about themselves. Most people like to talk about themselves, and almost every person you ever meet cares a lot more about themselves and is only maybe mildly interested in you. So the next 3 things focus on them instead of you. Therefore, switch topics. Ask about their family. Are they married? Do they have kids? You already know that if you did their tax return last year, so this year, ask questions about how their spouse and kids are doing. Is there anything special going on? Ask about good family things and also inquire about bad family things going on. If they have their own business, ask about the business. Do they have a succession plan for when they get ready to retire? Do they think they'll have an increase in sales this year? Or do they think they'll have a decrease in sales this year? Engage them about talking about their business. Number 4, asset protection. Are they worried about ever getting a lawsuit? Do they think they have adequate insurance coverage? Do they have a rider with umbrella coverage? If they have a business, do they have officer and director coverage? If they have employees or subcontractors, do they have unowned auto coverage? Number 5, church or charity giving. You have to approach this a little delicately. If you did their tax return last year, you know from Schedule A whether or not they are regular givers to churches or charities. Be sensitive about asking. You can also ask a wills and trust question about gifts to churches or charities after they die. A surprising number of clients and prospects are regular givers, but many people are not. If you determine that they don't have any interest in church or charitable giving, either go through this section quickly and move on, or you can skip this section entirely.
If you are a tax preparer with continuing education requirements, I invite you to join our tax practice group. As you know, you have a critical need to stay up to date. We sponsor a monthly continuing tax update session, good for 3 hours of credit in all states, except we skip the month of April because you'll be too busy during tax season. Just contact me at adrian@taxpracticegroup.net.